Hey Wildcats, it's Miss Ward. I miss you all so much. I hope that everyone is doing well and I hope that everyone is in good spirits about this week to come. It's Monday, our first day of distance learning. What that is basically you still doing your classwork, we're still having school, but we're doing it where you're at home and I'm here as well. I'm going to be pushing out information so that it can help you with learning and completing your assignments the correct way from home. So my last video that I sent you guys kind of let you know about the due dates. Due dates for me will be every Thursday. Okay, so I'm expecting work to be submitted back in by Thursday, but no worries. I'm going to walk through what you're going to need to pace yourself and to make sure that we get everything going correctly. I know that you have so much other work from all of your other classes, so I'm not going to overload you. I'm going to give you assignments that should take you maybe 30 to 45 minutes a day. And you should be able to complete this within the first 3 days of the week. And that way your Thursday and Friday is all good for just submitting and discussions on Friday. Okay? So first thing, materials you're going to need for this week. This week of March 30th through April 3rd for your ELA class, Miss Ward. Materials is, we're using our textbook, the My Perspectives textbook. No, you don't have your textbooks at home. However, you do have a link for the virtual copy. Those of you who have the packet, your packet has, your also has the textbook information. So everything that they're doing with the textbook online, there's also there in your packet. All right. So that is your first materials. Again, your textbook. You're going to need some sort of highlighter. If you don't have a highlighter at home, no worries. If you have just any type of marker, anything to circle or underline, perfect. Okay? A pencil. I'm going to do like a makeup. A pencil or a pen. Do not write in red ink if you are doing the packet. If you are doing the packet, same rules apply. Do not write in red ink, okay? If you are online, the highlighters are through the Google Classroom. Like I showed you before, you'll just take your cursor, highlight, and then you'll go pick a color for it to stick, okay? Great. All right, if you don't already have a calendar, try to make one. It's pretty easy if you have a ruler and some paper. Just make lines and then put the numbers there for the date. So even though this is April, for Monday, I went ahead and put 30 there. For the end of March, 31. And then we start into April here on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. If you guys have a folder at home with just paper or any kind of paper, that'll be useful for you while you're doing your work at home. Okay? So that's pretty much the supplies you'll need for this week. All right? So first, what we're going to be doing, this is going to be posted on Google Classroom as well. It's your agenda. I'm sorry for the circle there. That's my light. But this is going to be posted on Google Classroom. If you have a packet that went home, it's also there just like it would appear on the board. All right. First, we're going to review the TEKS and our objective for this week. So usually we review the TEKS and the objective for the day, but because of this distance learning, it's going to be by week now. Okay. So our TEKS for this week is 5F. 5F is to make inferences and use evidence to support your understanding. 5E. 5E is to make connections to personal experiences, ideas in text, and society. 6C is to use text evidence to support an appropriate response. So all this tied in, our objective is going to be you will be able to respond appropriately to the passage questions by making inferences and personal connections to comprehend the author's message. So again, as always, this is also going to be on Google Classroom, available for you. All right. If you need to go over this, if we need to break this down a little bit more for those TEKS, I'm going to have an alternate video available for you with the breaking down of those TEKS and discussion for the objective, okay? So the next thing that you're going to be doing for yourself is important pre-read questions. So you're going to have on your thread important questions. So this looks just like the board. On your thread, you're going to have the resources, this link. It's a YouTube link of the story. You also can have the story read or the questions read through Google Read-Write. My voice, audio voice, I went ahead and put my voice on as well because I know a lot of you hate the way the Google Read-Write lady sounds. It's like, this is like monotone. So I went ahead and made sure that we read the story in a more vibrant tone, okay? So that's available for you. The textbook link, so you can open up the textbook and read it there. It's available for you on your Google thread. And your important questions. Let's highlight that. Your important questions. And this will be before reading. You're going to make sure you look at these important questions before reading. So again, we do not want to start reading our short story 2 kinds yet. We want to look at these important questions first. So let's look at the questions, which is going to be on your Google Classroom thread. The first question is, what inference can you make about the story after reading just the title and reviewing the images? So again, we're not reading, but you're going to look at the title of the story from your book. And you see the images. All right. Images. Images. So that's all the images they have there. So again, what I want you to do is respond on your Google Classroom. If you are doing the packet, then you would just open up to a clean sheet of paper and you will respond on paper. Google Classroom, you will have a Google Doc ready for you to type your response, okay? So again, that first question that you want to answer before reading the passage is, what inference can you make about this story after reading the title, reviewing the images, and reviewing the images, excuse me. So you guys, one resource that you want to try to make sure that you utilize is your Google Timer. You don't want to spend so much time on one question, overthinking it, and before you know it, that simple first question that you have there, you've spent the whole hour on. It can happen. So this is where you will learn how to pace yourself. The same way that I pace us in the classroom with our timer. I'm looking for a timer here. Thought I had it. But the same place that you have the timer in our classroom, you should use your Google Timer to make sure that you're not going over 10 to 15 minutes for answering that question. And that is still a little bit much. So I would say give it about 10 minutes to go ahead and write that out. Okay? So our next important question that we're going to be answering before we read, the pre-read, is what can one generation learn from another generation? Provide a quick answer with detail. All right, so what can one generation learn from the next? So my generation is before your generation. Most of your parents are in my generation. So what can my generation teach your generation, and what can your generation pass on and teach my generation? That's basically what it's asking you, and I want you to give some details in your writing. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can get us some STEM sentences with that. So when you are writing or typing in Google Docs for question 1, I'm gonna put my name here. I'm gonna put the date. And I'm gonna put 1 for question 1. What inference can you make about the story after reading the title and reviewing the images? An inference I can make after reading the title and reviewing the pictures is, so that is a STEM sentence for there. Okay? And then you can go ahead and answer that question accordingly. And then we're going to go to 2. I'm going to write number 2. What can one generation learn from another generation? Okay? One generation can learn. I'm going to make a quick list because I can't think. So I'm going to make a quick list of some things that I'm thinking here. So quick list. Remember, a quick list is quick. We don't want to write full-on sentences for a quick list. It's a list and it's quick and it helps you get your thoughts out. So, it could teach love. It could teach acceptance. It can teach wow, I'm trying to think. Can you guys help? Can you guys think of something? So I have love and acceptance. So one generation can learn love from another generation. And then you're going to give details of that. So that means you're going to give me some examples. You're going to explain. You're going to give reasons why you feel this way. So this is just a stem of what I expect to see for 2. All right. And once you're done with that, then we're going to go into the next. The next is, now we're going to actually read Two Kinds by Amy Tan. So again, Two Kinds by Amy Tan from your textbook or with the link. Let's pull it out here. Now you're going to read this. And as you see, the audio is available. My audio is available. And Google Read Write is available. So you have many options to help you with reading this short story. This story is about about 6 pages front and back long. So that's about 12 pages total that I'm expecting for you to read. If there's any complications that come about, please contact me on email or the Remind app, and I'll be right here to help you out, okay? So after we read, what comes next? After you read, I want you to complete the Two Kinds worksheet. So you are completing the worksheet. This worksheet has 10 questions. There's 10 comprehension questions. And this is also available on Google Classroom. You will submit your answers in the Power Worksheet. And I need to have an explanation for your answers. So I need to make sure that you are going back to the passage and you're showing proof. I want for you to make sure that you're writing connections to the passage. You need to make sure that you connect with what's being read. If someone is talking about life and family, think about your life, think about your family, and see if there's any way that you can find a connection there. And that will help you with your comprehension in your reading. Okay? So as you do this, let's go through the first one, what I'm expecting to see. And again, even if it's the packet or on Google Classroom, you are able to highlight, you are able to annotate. Make sure we're getting that done. So the first one, I'm going to look at the directions. When I see directions, I'm going to highlight directions because this is important information. I've highlighted the directions. And now I'm going to read question 1. Question 1 says, in two kinds, what does the mother hope for her daughter? So we know that we should have read now to understand a relationship between a mother and a daughter. We're going to read each answer choice, and we're going to use the process of elimination before we go back and we show our evidence for the actual answer. So we're going to look at A, meeting with Ed Sullivan. B, a way to happiness. C, a special talent. D, a good career. So, what do we think we can mark off top? I'm thinking a meeting with Ed Sullivan. I mean, I know that my mom, she wanted me to meet some famous people in my life, but I don't think that was her whole goal. And that's the same thing with here. In two kinds, the mother did not have her whole goal being she wants her to meet a famous person. So we can go ahead and mark that off and say, that's not right. A way to happiness. Maybe. So I'm going to put a dot here. Maybe. A special talent. Maybe. A good career. No, I didn't see anything in the story to justify that. So again, I've read the story, so I know here. And I'm going to cross that one out. So now we have our actual answer and our distractor. So we're going to go back into the story now. We're going to look for details to prove why we chose our answer. And we're going to be able to eliminate which is a distractor. So that's all I'm going to do for that worksheet. I expect that to be worked out for each one of those answers, okay? Each one of those questions. So now, what do we have? So then we have turn in by Thursday. I expect for you to be done with this. This is all that you have to do. The pre-questions in that worksheet. I know it's hard working by yourself, so again, I'm not overloading you. So this is how we're going to pace it to make sure that we're using every day to its fullest potential. On the calendar, on Monday, on today, you will complete your pre-read questions. So these pre-read questions, again, that's in your Google Classroom. You're going to complete those on your paper or the Google Docs. And that's it for today. Rest. And then on Tuesday, when it's time for school at home again, you're now going to go back and you're going to read two kinds. So now you're reading the story from your textbook. And after you read that story, because it's about 12 pages and there's just so much, just so much. Now that you've read that, you're done for today with Miss Ward. You've read. Make sure as you're reading, you're annotating, you're taking some notes because you want to be able to glance back over that on the next day when you're actually completing the worksheet. So again, on Wednesday, you're completing your 10 questions from the worksheet. you're completing those 10 questions from the worksheet. And then you're done. So by Thursday, you've paced yourself, you haven't overloaded yourself with one class, and you're ready to turn in your worksheet and your written portion for your pre-questions. So once you turn those in, I'll be able to grade them, and I can get those right back out to you to let you know where you're at as far as the comprehension. On Friday, we're going to all meet up on Google Classroom from 1 until 2. Again, on Google Classroom from 1 until 2 p.m. And we're going to have a group discussion. This is discussion board. So on the discussion board, we're going to have a topic. Our topic will be for you to identify the thesis and explain. We all should know what a thesis is. You are identifying the thesis, and you will explain to me how you came up with this. If we have any objections, or if someone feels that they need more on that, this is a great place for us to do it on Thursday when we're as a group discussing at the discussion board. Okay. Some of you may want to utilize the Flipgrid, where you can submit a video and we can discuss through the video on Flipgrid. So if you have the option to Flipgrid with me, I'll be more than happy. I'm delighted to actually see your faces and to hear your voices on that app. So again, if your parents have allowed you to download Flipgrid, please, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we have that thread available. And the video conference with all of us, or the video back-to-back with all of us, would be great. If on the discussion there is any goofing around, if you guys are putting things that have nothing to do with our discussion, it'll be the same consequences as it is in class. You do not want to get in trouble from distance learning. Like, that is a new thing, to get in trouble distance learning. Okay, so don't. All right. For extra credit, if you want extra credit with me, if you want to make sure that you're good, even if you want to just help yourself, because again, your knowledge is power. And I'll always stress this to you guys. Your knowledge is power. It's for yourself. It's not for me. It's not for any kind of test. It's for you. The more knowledge you have, the more successful you'll become, not just in the world, but within yourself. Okay? So, but for extra credit, I want you to write a quick write. Okay? It needs to be grammatically correct. It needs to have all the parts. However, it is just a quick write. What adversities are we facing in our country right now, in the world right now? How can we overcome these difficult times? So again, this is going to be available on Google Classroom. If you would like to write on this, you submit this to me, and you will be rewarded for this. We're going to continue going into this next week, and we're going to discuss that as well midweek of next week. So make sure that you're utilizing your Google Classroom resources. Go to your materials and your classwork. You have your Google Read Write available for you. You have My Voice audio for your reading. You have your graphic organizers for your writing. You have your vocabulary cards. Make sure you utilize Quick List for your quick write. Utilize your online dictionary, Flipgrid, and your Google Timer. Utilize all of these resources you have available. For some of you, if you feel that you need to discuss with me some different approaches for us to get to the same place for this assignment, please do so that I can help you get to where we need to be with this assignment. Again, for an alternate discussion, for alternate assignments, I will have an alternate video. Okay? All right. So again, take your time with all of this. Make sure you read over it. For right now, I think we've discussed it all. Check this off as you go by the week. Use your calendar, pace yourself, use your timer. I miss you. I can't wait to see you guys again. I'm always proud of you. And until then, I'll talk to you guys this week through discussion, Flipgrid, and next week I'll have another video for you. Goodbye.